In 2024, the WNBA welcomed a revolutionary talent, a generational force poised to change the game. Even before stepping onto the court, she had already captured the basketball world's attention.
Iowa's Caitlin Clark has become a national phenom, and some fans say they went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
As she progressed along her journey, legends fell before her and rivals couldn't keep up. No matter how hard they tried to bring her down, she got back up every time, stronger, tougher, and more unstoppable than ever. By the end of her first season, one thing was crystal clear: a monster had arrived.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
As we now turn our attention to the 2025 WNBA season, one thing is crystal clear: Caitlin Clark is about to reach a whole new level. And in today's video, we'll break down the facts, dive into the numbers, and predict what her second season might look like. If you ask me, however, one thing looks to be certain: the WNBA isn't ready for Caitlin Clark's second season.
For the record, she ties it with that one. This for college basketball history.
As a college freshman, Caitlin Clark achieved something extraordinary. She led NCAA Division I women's basketball in scoring.
Ramick, Hilliard, Julie P., Moscow, and Stapleton.
To put this rarity into perspective, only one other freshman in history had ever accomplished the same feat: her current teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. But Caitlin didn't stop there. For her, breaking records wasn't the goal. Becoming better was all that mattered. In her sophomore season, Caitlin Clark didn't just lead NCAA Division I women's basketball in scoring again, she also topped the charts in assists, showcasing her ability to dominate in every aspect of the game. But she didn't stop there either. With ice in her veins, Caitlin took it to another level in her junior year, improving both her scoring and assists from the previous season. By then, many believed she had reached her peak. Yet, in her senior season, Caitlin shattered all expectations. She hit career highs in both points and assists, once again leading the league in both categories and cementing her legacy as one of the greatest college players ever. By the time her college career ended, she had scored more points than any player in NCAA history, men or women, and knocked down more threes than even Steph Curry did in college. That's not just incredible, it's borderline unbelievable. But here's the point: Caitlin Clark is a relentless force who just keeps getting better year after year, proving there's no ceiling to her greatness. When Caitlin Clark finally made her WNBA debut, the story was no different. Her professional career began with a rocky start, winning just one of her first 9 games. Critics were quick to pounce, mocking her rough entry into the league.
Let me give you the deets. First quarter, she went scoreless, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from deep, no rebounds, 1 assist, and 5 turnovers.
But by the end of that same season, however, Caitlin had turned things around. She took a team that had finished dead last in their conference the year before and dragged them into playoff contention, finishing an impressive 4th in the MVP race.
And I think that's commendable. I think she's a unicorn. She's doing everything I thought she was going to do and more, like win the MVP.
And this is where the facts start to get unbelievable. You see, when Caitlin Clark began her WNBA journey, she was running on empty, and here's what I mean. Her final game in the 2024 NCAA season, a grueling championship showdown, took place on April 7th. Just a week later, on April 15th, she was drafted into the WNBA. From there, it was a whirlwind, signing her contract, familiarizing herself with her new team, attending practices, and adjusting to life as a professional athlete. Then, barely a month after her college championship game, on May 14th, she found herself on a WNBA court, going head-to-head with seasoned professionals who had years of experience at the highest level. It's no surprise she had a rocky start. I mean, just imagine being asked to run another marathon right after crossing the finish line of your first one. this was the reality Caitlin Clark faced as she stepped into her first WNBA season. Her second season, however, is a completely different story. Caitlin Clark is approaching things with a sharp, strategic mindset.
My girl, Caitlin Clark, took my advice. She's not joining that horrible league, the unrivaled 3-on-3 league.
After her first WNBA season wrapped up on September 25th, she took her time, refusing to rush back into the grind. When offers came her way, including a chance to join a new 3-on-3 league, she wisely turned them down, recognizing that rest and recovery were far more critical to setting herself up for success in her sophomore season. Caitlin understands that pacing herself now would pay off when it mattered most, on the WNBA court.
And I applauded in my tweet Caitlin snubbing this new 3-on-3 endeavor.
For anyone doubting the importance of rest, just look at what happened during the month-long break for the Paris Olympics. Before the break, Caitlin Clark was struggling, even being outperformed by players like Angel Reese. But after that time off, she came back playing like an MVP, completely changing the narrative.
Till she finally just shut everybody's mouth and proved that she can play at an MVP level. She made a late run at MVP.
That's how crucial rest is, especially for shooters who rely so heavily on their legs. You see it time and time again in the NBA with players like Steph Curry. Whenever 30 gets proper rest, opposing teams know to be on high alert because a well-rested shooter is infinitely more dangerous. Caitlin Clark is no different.
That we're going to get the best version of Caitlin Clark and not one that's continually fatigued.
Now, on top of the much-needed rest, Caitlin Clark has something even more valuable: nearly half a year to prepare for her second season. She already finished her rookie year playing at an MVP caliber level, but now she has the time to review game film, analyze her shooting efficiency, and pinpoint areas for improvement. That's only going to make her even more dangerous on the court.
I think there's so many ways that I can continue to get better, and I feel like there were so many ways I could have been even better this year.
Over her last 10 games of the season, she averaged an impressive 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. Those were the numbers she put up without any rest, without time to adjust to a brand new league, and without the guidance of seasoned veterans. If she could perform like that under those circumstances, imagine what she'll achieve with a full offseason to prepare.
You know, I'm a competitor and somebody that loves to work, so it won't be hard for me to want to get in the gym and to get even better. And, you know,
if I had to predict her numbers for next season, I'd say she'll improve about 10%, somewhere along the lines of 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. Now, those are legitimate MVP statistics. And here's where it gets even crazier. Here's a quick look at every WNBA MVP in history. If Caitlin Clark averages 26 points next season, she'll post the second highest scoring average ever for an MVP, trailing only A'ja Wilson's record-setting 26.9 points per game from this past season. Now, let's talk about assists. If Caitlin manages to average 10 dimes, she would more than double the highest assists average ever recorded by a WNBA MVP. That is unprecedented. Based on those potential numbers alone, it's hard to imagine Caitlin not being the frontrunner for MVP next season. The numbers practically make the case for her. Now, here's where things get even crazier. A'ja Wilson had a breakout year this past season, setting a career high with 26.9 points per game. But let's say she regresses slightly next season, dropping below Caitlin's projected scoring output. If that happens, Caitlin Clark will have a chance to achieve something that's truly never been done before. Since the invention of the three-point line, not a single player, male or female, in the NBA or WNBA has ever led their league in both points and assists in the same season. In other words, Caitlin Clark is on the verge of doing something historical with an opportunity to accomplish something professional basketball has never seen before.
9-point lead, Clark a 3, it is good!
Right now, she seems more motivated than ever to make that happen. This offseason, Caitlin Clark has been putting in the work, training relentlessly and surrounding herself with elite talent like Tyrese Halliburton. She looks fully locked in. And let's be real, she's probably more fired up than ever right now. Knowing the competitor she is, nothing would be more satisfying to her than shutting down Angel Reese after all the smack talk she's thrown her way.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person.
Then there's Paige Buchers, one of her biggest rivals from college, about to enter the WNBA as the #1 overall pick. Caitlin's not going to let herself be overshadowed by Paige, and let's not forget the critics who doubted her during her rocky rookie start. You can feel it. She's gearing up to prove every single doubter not just a little wrong, but completely wrong, driven by relentless determination and maybe a touch of vengeance. The WNBA was already reeling from the unprecedented media attention Caitlin Clark brought to the league. They've never experienced anything like this before. Now imagine what's going to happen when she takes her game to the next level.
I mean, she is a LeBron-level passer. You want to talk about gifted, they're usually once a generation, and she is it, man.
It's terrifying to think about. If she could take her team from the bottom of the conference to 3rd place in just her rookie season, what's she capable of next? And if she was already breaking records, like being the only rookie in history to post multiple 20-point, 10-assist games, just how much better can she get?
Caitlin Clark is a superhero.
If you ask me, the answer is clear. Caitlin's going to elevate her team to the 2nd seed in their conference, and she's going to claim the MVP trophy by leading the league in 2 major statistical categories. And along the way, she's going to make other WNBA players look absolutely ridiculous. Not just outplayed, but completely outclassed.
So on the shot clock, Clark, a deep 3!
Here's another wild thought. Caitlin Clark is poised to dominate the WNBA for at least the next decade, if not longer. Just look at Steph Curry. The man is 36, a full 14 years older than Caitlin, and he's still running the show in the NBA.
A screen by Green, the switch to Lively. 3, Curry! Oh!
With all the sports science, training methods, and recovery techniques available today, you can bet Caitlin will maximize every resource to stay at the top of her game for years to come. But here's the thing. Have you ever wondered what it is about Steph Curry that lets him take over games, even at an age when most athletes start to decline? If that's ever crossed your mind, don't worry, I've got you covered. I made an entire video breaking it all down. So, if you're curious, click right over here and I'll explain everything.